Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, wherever you are tuning in from. This is the BS Buddies podcast. I'm your host, Joe. That's your host, Ian. Today, we are revisiting one of our favorite things to do, which is mashing up cartoon characters with other cartoon characters to create a brand new show. Now, I don't really remember the last ones we did. I know we had Courage and the Grim Reaper, and I can't really remember the other ones, but we got some good ones here today. Hit subscribe if you're new. Ian, how are you feeling today?
I'm doing good. I like that little intro you got there. I know we had Courage and Grim and
There,
some others,
there
and
was a
that
lot
that
of
was
brain rot combinations.
oh, those are the best kind. That's the content that's popular these days, Joe, is it's just all the brain rot. Well, it's been going good so far here. I'm going to talk about the weather a little bit. Not a lot, just that it's been hot and I've been miserable
Yeah, I
because
got
we're from the
sunburnt.
north.
I can't go
For
from 40
sun,
degrees and then within two weeks hit 80. I'll say that. That's all I'm gonna say on the weather.
yeah, we went from like, oh, it's like a nice 50-degree day. It's getting comfortable. Then boom, 80. Now we're supposed to hit like 87, 88 this weekend. I'm gonna die.
And
But
that's
anyways,
that's been the weather. So I'm gonna start off with one of my weaker ones and work our way up. So my first cartoon mashup, I got Raj, the elephant from Camp Lazlo, and I I don't know exactly what my thought process was, but I'm gonna pair him with Tommy Pickles from Rugrats.
oh my,
Because I can only imagine the fear in Raj building up because he has to take care of a child when he's already got social anxiety.
he's just like slowly losing his mind over the episode as Tommy just keeps getting into more and more shenanigans. And he's like, no, what are you doing? You can't go over there. And Tommy's just like, got this. And it's like, no. And it's just constant rising anxiety. They could do like a Raj anxiety meter on the side, and like everything they go through, it just like slowly goes up more and more and more.
I'm trying to think, would it take place in the campground? Like the Pickle family, like went to go camp somewhere, and then Tommy just ends up wandering into the camp, and then Raj is like, "Well, I have to take care of you now. I can't just leave a baby lying." He would definitely do that.
100% he would. And then you just like see from time to time. I can't remember. I know he's not a dinosaur, but I think of him as the dinosaur because he has the horns. He would
He's
just pop in from time to time, and he'd just be like, "Baby," like he'd
I
just say "baby," and then that'd be it. That's all you'd
I'll,
see of him.
I'll look up his name, but uh he's the reason why I remember Boxing Day as a thing. Like,
Really?
yep, Clam. I would have
Oh,
never guessed
clam.
that's his name. But yeah,
Yeah,
Clam from
no,
Camp Lazo. Because there's
me
this one
neither.
random episode where he says "Happy Boxing Day" in Canada, and that's how I know every single time.
Fun fact or not so fun fact, the only reason I remember Boxing Day exists is because I think it was in history class. We watched that video about the Boxing Day tsunami in like 2004.
Oh,
I don't even remember where it hit, but it hit somewhere. And it was like, "What's Boxing Day?" And then they explained it, and I was like, "Oh, right after Christmas. That's terrible. Merry Christmas, Happy Boxing Day." Wave gone.
um. Anyways,
Mother Nature gift return.
you
Okay.
said before we started that you also had a Camp Lazlo one, and I'd like to hear
Yes.
what abomination you made.
Oh, this is very accursed. Now, with mine, I was thinking more of like as a group because this group would be absolute chaos. So it'd be the trio from Camp Lazlo. It'd be
Okay.
Lazlo, Raj, and Clam combined with Ren and Stimpy. That would be an episode of weirdness that I don't think anyone could absolutely recall because so I was watching a couple of Ren and Stimpy clips on YouTube just because I had to remember like, okay, what was Ren and Stimpy about if you could even say
Yeah,
that there
like
was a plot.
I don't remember much at all about Ren and Stimpy. I I think yeah, just recently the uh character designer and storyboard artist, I'm looking it up right now. Jim Smith just recently passed away and he was a big part of that show. But
Oh, R.I.P.
but
Well,
yeah, I know nothing but it was just like kind of brain rot before brain rot was popular. I think.
and here was my analysis, right? Camp Lazlo was like, in my mind, about on par with SpongeBob levels of goofiness that would just occur throughout the show. Ren and Stimpy was like hard drugs of the cartoon world because I saw my favorite clip that I forgot about is the one where Ren and Stimpy are sitting there and they're like, "We're all out of powdered toast," and the powdered toast man is like a superhero bounds in through their window with like this seizure-inducing flashing in the background. He's like, "What seems to be the problem, young gentlemen? Like, we're out of powdered toast." And he's like, "Don't worry." And he like pulls the loaf of toast off the front of his face. He's got like two of them. He like scrapes all the toast off, the toast flecks off, and then he flies away. And Ren and Stimpy are like chewing it, and they're like, and they look at each other and they look at the toast. And then he bounds back in the room and he's like, "Sorry, boys, I almost forgot." And he just turns around and just like rips ass in front of them and flies away. And then they start eating the toast again and they're like, this is good stuff. Like,
Oh,
and, all I could think of is like that and Camp Lazlo, and you'd have a fever dream that I don't think words could describe.
the people always ask the number one thing is Ren and Stimpy for kids or adults? Initially, it was a kids' show, so yes, it's for kids, although it was debated for being inappropriate and lots of cartoon violence.
Yeah,
Uh,
cartoon violence, I think, is a bit. I don't think that show is for anyone. I think it's just there, and you either have the mental capacity to handle it or you don't. That's the cutoff line. Separate the wheat from the chaff.
okay, we're gonna move on. We're we're gonna make a hunting show because
Oh
good old Elmer Fudd is so tired of chasing bugs. So he needs he needs something new, something exciting in his life. So he's gonna start hunting Curious George, and
no.
they're gonna
Oh,
get into some mischief.
oh, if by mischief you mean Curious George is like, "What's this pipe?" And just like 12 gauge round goes flying through the sky, takes out some old lady's window, and then he just like hands the shotgun back to Elmer Fudd, and Fudd's like, "Oh, you terrible monkey, you're gonna get me in trouble now." And then it's his fault somehow that he shot this old lady's window out.
That show would be canceled so quick.
Curious George and the Mystery of Dragon's Breath rounds. Just
Curious George learns about the safety.
Curious George does gun maintenance with Elmer Fudd. And they just teach you how to break down his shotgun and like oil it up and clean it. Oh man.
Accidentally
Okay.
shoots the man with the yellow hat. His hat clean off. Oh,
his
that's
hand
now a
blows.
red hat.
Ooh, you got my hat and my scalp. It's gone. I knew I needed a haircut anyways. Face plants. He's done for. Oh. All right. My next one. This was done I'd like to point out this was done with very, very little thought. And I have two possibilities here. The main character or my character who is consistent between both of these is Plankton, right?
Okay. I just
So
watched
the
the Plankton
first
movie. Solid 5 out of 10.
the first one is Plankton and Vegeta.
You know,
Because they are both the biggest shit talkers and the number one op of their counterparts in
the
their
number one
respective
op.
shows. Yes, the number one op. The number one op. No, I'm kidding. The and I just feel like that Plankton's like his shrewdness in his plans and Vegeta's ability to just get super angry at everything would create something that I don't know where it would go. But it would be like Vegeta sitting there like, Kakarot, he thinks he's the strongest Saiyan. I'll prove him wrong. And then Plankton's in the corner like, yes, how about I go to plan O and we figure out how to steal the Dragon Balls from him. And then he just like brings in Karen or something and they just cook up some absolutely ridiculous scheme to go steal them. I can't do a Plankton voice. Don't ask me to
Don't
do a
worry,
Plankton voice.
Vegeta. I went to college. I don't even know what that is.
No, not to worry, young Saiyan. I went to college. What the hell's a college? You know, school, education. What? Is that like training?
Kinda.
So it was either that or Plankton and Doofenshmirtz, because that would be something that I would love to see.
I wasn't gonna go with this one, but I do have Doofenshmirtz on my list.
All right, let's hear it. Let's
I'm
hear
gonna
it.
one up you because I got Doctor Doofenshmirtz, and he's not gonna be arch nemesis with Perry the Platypus anymore for this show. He's got to face Kim Possible.
There's no way.
They're both Disney shows, so the
I
crossover could work. You have Kim Possible, don't you?
I have Kim Possible with Perry the Platypus. I'm kidding. It's right here in my notes. Oh God, you can't see. You can't look at the rest of them. How do I do this? I can't. There, kind of, not really.
It's like we're the
It's
same
down there.
person. It's like we've recorded
Oh.
160 episodes together.
It's the Doofenshmirtz versus Perry and Kim Possible. A platypus? Perry the Platypus?
A
Why are you with
possible?
that red hair? A possible. And she like lets her hair down. A Kim Possible? Just. You know, you don't have to go breaking down my door every time you get in here. That's expensive oak, you know. Just.
I don't.
Here's my. Oh, what's that? What's that stupid rat that Ron always had? His little. What is it? A weasel? Is it a mole? Here's my molinator. It will turn everyone in the Tri-County area into a mole. And he hits it and it just turns Tri-State, Tri-County, Tri-State, whatever. It's the East Coast. I don't care about them. It'll turn everyone in the Tri-State area into a mole, and then he just like shoots the mole, and it just turns the mole into like a version of Ron, and it's like cool.
The mole has a name. Its name is Rufus. I forgot about
that's
that.
right. I forgot its name was Rufus. It's been so long since I've watched these, man. Don't hold it against me.
You know, I wasn't expecting us to rattle through 3 like that.
Bing, 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 right away. I can't believe we had almost we had the characters from the same show. I put down in my notes it was the super secret spy combo you didn't know you needed. Here's Kim being all stealthy, like firing her grappling hook and getting through, and then Perry's just like when blows a hole in the side of the thing. It's like perfect. It's exactly what I needed.
Ron gets turned down by Kim. He joins Doofenshmirtz.
He joins him. It's his evil arc.
Okay, I guess it's back to me already. It's only been 2 minutes.
Yeah, we circled around that real fast. Back to you, Joe.
So I'm gonna go with probably one of the nicest cartoon characters I think almost ever. We're gonna go Wilt from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Do you
Okay.
remember that guy?
All right. Yeah. I remember Wilt. Yeah, tall, wonky eye, basketball star. Oh yeah.
Yep, named after Wilt Chamberlain. I think that's who. I think in a later episode, that's who imagined him, or one of the Harlem Globetrotters. That's why he has the socks that are red and white,
And
red, white, and blue, and
his whole color scheme is all
that was a
back.
great episode, by the way. But I want to push his limits. I know Blue does a good job of that, but we need someone else. And that's where I'm bringing in Eddie from Ed, Edd, and Eddy.
Oh my god. That is a horrific combination. That'd be like Eddie, just every scheme Eddie cooks up, Wilt is right there like, are you sure that's a good idea, man? Because I really don't think selling jawbreakers to the neighborhood kids is going to get you rich. Shut up, Socks. How about you just help me carry these jawbreakers? And he's like carrying them around with him.
Sorry.
Okay, all right. I guess I'll see where this goes.
Tries to
That
bounce it
is-
like a basketball.
He's like, is this like a cool basketball? And he like throws it down, it just shatters, and Eddie like loses his mind at him.
Dude, that's 25 cents.
It was worth a quarter.
Frankie, you got a quarter. I just broke this kid's ball.
Frankie's like, no, but I got $1, and like Eddie's eyes just like light up with the dollar signs. Like, oh my god, a whole dollar.
Yeah, I get paid more than that.
Yeah, I get paid $12 an hour to work at this mansion. 12 whole dollars. That's like 48 jawbreakers, and he like his plans to get rich just immediately revolve around that. He's trying to sell jawbreakers to all the rest of the imaginary friends in the mansion.
And then Blue
Okay,
gets
well-
involved in some way, because of course he will.
And then it goes horribly south from there. All right. Well, in keeping with the spirit of Ed and Ed, I don't know, man. I can't speak anymore. My freaking speech impediment's acting up.
Oh, gee.
In the spirit of Ed, Edd, and Eddy, I have one that I feel would work fantastically. And out of all of them, this is probably a contender for my top favorite. But it's Ed and Chowder. Because I feel like Ed and Chowder, not Double D,
I was
Ed.
just gonna ask,
Ed.
like, the
Ed and Chowder. I feel like that could be fantastic because Chowder is just innocence personified, and Ed is just idiocy personified. And that I feel like that would 100% be like nothing but fourth wall breaks. Like Chowder would be like, "Oh no, we need to get to the market to get the prickleberry fruit for the recipe. But how are we going to get there? It's all the way on the other side of town." And Ed's like, "I know, it's on the map." And he'd like just reach up on top of the screen and pull the map down and he'd be like, "Look, we just need to go right there." And then he'd pull the shutter back and they'd be like there in the market. How did you do that? Do what? Like, he'd just be like,
Ed would be perfect for Chowder with how many times they fourth wall break. Like, I love Chowder
my-
so much. And it's like every 5th episode, they make a fourth wall break. Maybe we talked about this in our first cartoon mashup, because I mixed Chowder with another brain rot character. I can't remember who. It was just as bad.
can't remember now off the top of my head. I'll have to go
Oh,
back and
yeah,
look at it later.
I'll have to look back, but like, way to go, Chowder. Now these animators are going to have to draw all this fire.
We ran out of money for animation. Oh no, what will we do? And then they do the
Rada,
car wash
rada.
stuff. Rada, rada,
I
rada.
think we made enough money to get the animation back.
Ed would 100% eat like everything that they had in the kitchen, and then they'd be like, "Oh, but we need this," and he'd be like, "Hold on," and he just like open his mouth wide and like reach inside, pull out the ingredient they need. There you go.
I the episode that I referenced with the fire, I could only imagine because I don't know if you know that episode, but they make these hot beans, and you're not supposed to have so many at a time because they're so hot. So Chowder eats a ton of them, and then he just stuck with fire. I just imagine Ed doing that and just laughing his ass off, running around the kitchen, just breathing fire as my tongue burns.
He's like, "My tongue is on fire," and he'd stick out his tongue and look like a red hot fire poker or something like that. My favorite fourth wall break in Chowder was when Chowder was like drawing on the
Yep.
screen and it was supposed to be like the TV screen, and Gazpacho washes it off, and then Chowder's like, "What about that one over there?" And it's like where the Cartoon
Oh,
Network
yep.
symbol is, and Gazpacho's like, I've tried that one. That one doesn't come off."
They also do that another time where Chowder works on his handwriting and he scribbles all over the screen so the camera moves and then Mung has to clean it up.
Uh-huh.
I
Oh
I
god.
love that mashup, but I might love this one just a bit more for my final one. It's tough. That one's a great one. I don't know how this would work as a show cuz I got Bandit Healer from Bluey, the dad from Bluey. If you don't
Okay.
know Bandit, he's so funny. Such a great character. And I'm going to mix him with another dad. Technically not cartoon, but I mean, it's Nickelodeon. I'm going to mix him with Hugh Neutron.
Oh, now that would be like Dad Ventures or something like that.
Like,
That's what you could call the show, is just like Dad Ventures.
I can only imagine. Like, Bandit's very intelligent, but he hides it really well. So he'd be like super intelligent compared to Hugh Neutron. And all I can think about right now is the episode where they're doing like the father son like egg games or whatever they were doing in that episode. And just Bandit having to deal with that.
I think it would be like Bandit would be continuously fooled by Hugh's stories, because it would be like Bandit would be doing something like, "Oh, mate, your kid over there is pretty smart. Yeah, he's got a whole computer contraption built in your garage." And Hugh would just be sitting there like, "Hey, I was something of a genius back in my day in college. I actually built a time machine once, but I never got the funding for it." And it just, like, and Bandit would be sitting there like, "What?" And then it'd be like a flashback or something to like Hugh in college, and he's just like at a music concert, and it's implied that he's just like out of his gourd and he's like in a porta potty or something. Like, that's what I could see it as. Okay,
Ian,
God.
what do you got for your final one? I know you made a lot more, so we might have to revisit this again soon. And like I said, it's one of my favorite ones to do.
All right. I'm going to give you the choice for this last one. I'm not going to tell you both of them, but I'm just going to give you my starting characters and you hear which one you want to hear.
Or
I
if
have either.
I was going to say, if you could create a name for the show for both of these,
Ooh, ooh,
or like give a
ooh.
description without saying who it is, or
God. Oh,
personalities.
all right. Do you want either two idiots, or do you want young children's show meet
I
meet
want I want that one. We
military
already
tactical?
Oh my goodness, yes. We already did the two idiots. Kid show, tactical, whatever.
All right. Buzz Lightyear and Dora the Explorer. I told you, some of these are absolutely horrible concoctions. Never let me cook. Never. If you see me cooking, stop me immediately.
What would the show be about?
I, in my mind, I just pictured like it's like Dora, like we need to get from this part of the park over to there, and we need to stop Swiper along the way. Can you find the best route? And then it'd be Buzz in the background, like scanning for hostiles. I don't see any threats right now. And he'd point like his little laser thing at Swiper, and Swiper would be like frozen in place, and like the little red dot would be on his forehead, and he'd be like, "This is new. What do I do about this?" And then Buzz would like be like, he'd be like reconning the area, and Dora would be like, "Can you say map?" Yes. I have a tactical map right here. It shows topographical locations, suspected enemy positions, and everything else. Say map. It's right here. And then, like he'd be very confused the whole time as to why nothing he's doing is working.
Oh, that's perfect. I I mean,
I think the word you're looking for is Space Ranger.
so I want to do a quote for this one because I got to do this one by Hugh.
Oh no.
From Hugh Neutron. Once when I was 7 years old, I sat on a banana. And of course, that changed my life.
I remember that one. I do remember that one. You know what? I'm gonna also steal a quote from you just because this one makes me laugh when I think about it. It's from the episode where Jimmy turned into like this just huge, absolutely yoked,
Yep, I know what you're talking
muscle-bound
about.
dude. And um he's finally recognized, he's looking at his parents, he's like, "Mom, Dad?" And is like, "You been hitting the weight, son? I'm willing to spot you. What do you bench? 4,000 pounds?" Oh God, what a hype man Hugh is.
Hugh's one of the best comic relief characters ever created. Because it's
We
just
all
so
make
out of left
mistakes
field.
we all make mistakes in the heat of passion, Jimbo. Just I
Hot
love the
clock, clock,
meme.
yeah. Hot clock, clock, yeah. Ooh, caribou.
Oh
I gotta
man.
look up more. Like, oh, there's videos.
Oh
I'm an
God.
adult. Please don't ask me again. Come on. I don't want to scroll through a bunch of stuff. Just. Oh, here we go. This is better than pie.
Never
Oh.
underestimate the power of butter.
Oh, and by the way, Mom says you're grounded. Sorry. There's only one way to find out. Press every button until something happens.
I've got a coupon for that.
What the heck? What the heck? I need to watch this again. Oh, the intense UV radiation has made me delusional. Flip slips. I'm a monkey.
I may not be the sharpest sandwich in the picnic, but I have my moments. If at first you don't succeed, redefine success. I used to be indecisive, but now I'm not so sure.
Calm down, folks.
Oh,
Now, just tell me what the gymster do. Wait, what the gym? What did the gymster do? Oh, I read it wrong. Some of these are just plain. Like anyone would have said this.
I also love the one where it's like, I don't think it's Hugh. It's like something that's like Hugh, but he's in like the leather jacket with the sunglasses, and he's in the diner. He's like, "This thing work, pops," and he like looks at the jukebox in the store and goes, "Sure does. I just oiled it yesterday. Give it up, baby." And he like flicks the quarter at the jukebox. And it goes in, it just starts playing a song. You didn't even select anything. I love that
Okay.
meme.
Okay, for the last one. Hey, Puff Mama, remember when I said I wouldn't be brought home by an angry mob again?
Again. They need to make a show about Hugh's exploits. That would be something that I would watch for sure.
But with that, thank you guys for watching. If you have any ideas for cartoon mashups, let us know. We'd love to hear whatever crazy brain rot concoctions you can come up with. Uh, but thank you for BSing with us. Subscribe to become Bud today, and we will see you next time. Maybe once we watch some Hugh Neutron funny moments, because that's always a good time.
We'll see you next time after we've done some reps of about 3750 for weight, because we got Hugh spotting us. But until then, you just take her easy now.